is headed to court to challenge the decision by the Tax Appeal Tribunal that would see, if sustained, will see the alcoholic beverages manufacturer part with more than 9.1 billion shillings to the Kenya Revenue Authority in tax arrears. The tribunal ruled that the taxman won 6 appeals filed by Keroche before the Tax Appeals Tribunal in 2015 and 2017. 3 of the appeals were contending the manufacturing process of Keroche's Vienna Ice brand of vodka, which KRA argued amounted to the manufacturing of a new product and thus needed to be treated as a differently distinct product. The other 3 appeals were with regard to the classification of Keroche wines, which KRA argued were wrongly classified by the Naivasha-based manufacturer so as to attract lower excise duty. Keroche has accused the Tax Appeals Tribunal of a judgment that it says is retrogressive and anti-business. And on to matters banking, the share of Cooperative Bank closed Wednesday's trade at 3.5% higher than it did yesterday on the back of the news of intended acquisition of Jamii Bora Bank. The transaction, which has been approved by the boards of both banks and still awaits regulatory approval, is unlikely to change the banking landscape in the country. Here's why. In its last filing of financial statements in March 2018, Jamii Bora Bank reported a loss of 51 million shillings. What was more telling about the bank's financial woes was its liquidity ratio of negative 11.1%, which fell below the legal requirement of at least 20%. What this meant was that the bank at that point was unable to settle any debt obligations without raising external capital, a pointer to the challenges it was confronting. Further to this, Jamii Bora Bank had a total of 2.2 billion shillings in non-performing loans, accounting for 27% of its total loan book against an industry average of 13%. If consummated, the acquisition of Jamii Bora Bank by Cooperative Bank will be unlike other transactions we have seen in the banking sector in the recent past. Cooperative Bank, for instance, will grow its asset base by a paltry 2.5%. The acquisition of National Bank last year grew KCB Group's asset base by a whole 18.5%. The merger between NIC and CBA banks to create NCBA resulted in a combined entity that commands the third largest share of assets in the market. The central bank has welcomed the acquisition of Jamii Bora Bank as one which, and I quote, will diversify the business models of the two institutions and enhance the stability of Kenya's banking sector, end of quote.